Hey everybody, this week we're going to be talking about more unqualified people that are in the Trump administration, the homophobic disaster that is Roy Moore, and I'm going to take you on a roller coaster ride with one of the funniest women on the planet, Suzanne Westenhoefer. I'm Dana Goldberg, and you are watching Out in Left Field. It has been a very, very heavy week. With the anniversary of 9/11, we've had floods and fires, and I know a lot of you are thinking, God, how can we get some levity? And the universe smiles on us, and Ted Cruz likes a pornographic tweet. Ted blamed it on one of his staffers, saying that someone got a hold of his phone. Ted, I would have respected you better if you had just admitted you watch porn. Apparently, Ted's staffer isn't the only one that seems to be unqualified for their job. White House social media director Dan Scavino, who used to be Trump's caddy, has tweeted a video of flooded Miami airport after Hurricane Irma, only to be corrected on Twitter by the not flooded Miami airport. Dan took it down. He apologized, saying he had so many videos and pictures coming in he couldn't fact check, and the Miami airport tweeted back, "Thanks, Dan." You may be asking yourself, who is Dan Scavino? I'm just kidding, neither am I. Right now I feel like the staffers of the White House are that friend that keeps getting in a new relationship every 3 months. I'm not investing in them anymore, they're not sticking around. Someone who is even more impressively unqualified for her job is the 28-year-old new White House communications director. Before joining Trump's campaign over 8 months ago, Hope Hicks had zero, zilch political experience. Shocking, I know. She did, however, model for Ivanka's clothing line. Wait a minute, I wore a Nike shirt once. Does that mean I'm qualified for the 2018 Olympics? Yes! This lack of experience isn't stopping her from getting paid $180,000 a year, which is actually the same amount that Kellyanne Conway is getting paid to sell her soul to the devil. Furthermore, it seems Trump's spiritual advisor, which came as a shock to me, is not Lucifer, said at a conference of religious journalists that she believes people in authority have been elected by God, including Trump and his predecessor. Let me make this perfectly clear. Obama was not elected by God, he was elected by the people. And Trump was not elected by God, he was elected by Russia. Paula White, of course that's her last name, said Trump has been raised up by God and suggested that those who opposed Trump's agenda were actually fighting the hand of God. I don't think anyone in this country is knowingly fighting the hand of God, but I know that there are several women knowingly fighting the hand of Trump, especially the pussy-grabbing hand. Speaking of spiritual people, Roy Moore, who's the Republican candidate for Senate in Alabama. You know, Roy Moore, that schmuck of a judge who wouldn't honor same-sex marriage when it became federal law, has appeared on Pastor Kevin Swanson's Generation Radio at least 5 times. Swanson, who preaches that the biblical punishment for homosexuality is death, recently suggested that Harvey hit Houston because that city has a very, very aggressively pro-homosexual mayor. I would say she's more than just pro-homosexual. She's a lesbian and she's a mayor, which makes her a professional homosexual. In a recent interview, Roy Moore was asked if homosexuality should be punishable by death. And apparently he said, "Well, I don't know. I'm not here to outline any punishments for sodomy." Okay, whoa. Can we take a step back right here? Up until this episode, I thought sodomy was specifically anal sex. And if that were the case, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of straight women that would argue to have sodomy outlawed. And speaking of sodomy, best transition ever, my guest this week is going to tell us what it really means. That and so much more. My dear friend, comedian, Suzanne Westenhoefer. Thank you so much for coming back and joining this week. My guest is a brilliant comedian. She was the first lesbian comic to actually perform on David Letterman. She has a ton of comedy specials, including one of my favorites called A Bottom on Top. Please welcome to Out in Left Field, my dear friend, Suzanne Westenhoefer.
So you must be Dana Goldberg.
I am.
I've heard so much about you.
Well, the funniest thing
like
is
a
that
really
that
fun
is
girl.
not that made up, because the first 3 times I met this woman, she did not remember who I was.
Why would I remember you?
Suzanne headlined a comedy event in Albuquerque. The deafening laughter that Suzanne got at this show was exactly what got inside me, where I was like, I want to know what that feels like. And you were the person I saw that inspired me to get on stage the first time.
Oh, I did it.
Yes.
So I could have stopped you.
You could have stopped.
Oh my God.
On everyone watching that's like, oh, her fault.
Mom, I totally want to go to see this show because this girl, I think, is like me, but I don't know exactly what that means yet.
That's basically what it was. You literally were one of the pioneers of lesbian comedy within our industry. That before it was cool to be gay and before it was accepted to be an LGBTQ comedian, you were breaking down doors.
Oh.
How was it being a comedian back then?
Well, there was no electricity.
Right.
So the shows were more difficult.
She went to work in a horse and buggy.
What I did that was unusual is I was doing open gay comedy in comedy clubs as if I were just any other comic.
Right.
And that was there were a handful of open lesbian comics, and they were generally performing just for other gay people. I was going into the clubs and going, you will take me seriously. I'm auditioning like everybody else,
Right.
you know what I mean? I want to get up on here just like any of the other comics. I'm just as funny just because I'm gay.
Yeah, but the first time you got up and did comedy was a fluke, wasn't it? You were a bartender.
I was a bartender. One thing leads to another, and pretty soon you're bartending, and it's like 9 years, and you go, oh, I guess I'm not doing that acting thing.
Yeah.
That can't be good. I majored in it and got a degree and stuff, so
Yeah, I
that
had
seems
a degree in
stupid.
physical education because I'm a lesbian and it's the law.
People would come in and they would say, you're just as fun as this guy I saw on HBO last night or whatever, you should do comedy. Well, I'm openly gay, and I was a member of ACT UP and Queer Nation and the Lesbian Avengers and all kinds of other things that no one's heard of anymore.
Can we bring back the Lesbian Avengers? I just
They
want
were
to see them. I
fantastic.
just want
We
them to
did
be
kiss-ins.
superheroes. I want capes. So you have had a career, very successful, but has spanned decades to
No,
the
but
point
it's
where you've been
25
able to keep
20
your success through 26 years?
Initially, when I started, I had to be super gay, and I had to represent the whole entire lesbian and gay community. Yeah. And if there were gay people in the audience, they were like, don't screw up in front of these straight people. Don't make us look bad. I couldn't just talk about my dogs.
Right.
I couldn't just talk about my cat. First, you had to get out of the way. This whole like, I'm gay, but I'm just like you. You know what I mean? And I had all those goofy jokes. Like, I've been to a baby shower, because in the 90s, lesbians didn't go to baby showers because they didn't really have babies.
And if I had to guess now, I feel like after seeing your comedy and performing with you, you don't care as much about making everyone in the audience feel comfortable.
You don't have to. There are gay voices. I mean, within our own community, we're like, we don't like that voice, and that one's too loud, and that one's not loud enough. And it's funny because you think, 15 years ago, we were just so excited that we're all gay here together, we're all queer here
Right.
together.
I can't keep up with the letters anymore.
The straight community, I do. You do straight clubs.
Yeah.
Okay, so do they say to you afterwards? They mock you. They go, "What's with all the letters?" And when are you going to start using Roman numerals? And they mock you. It doesn't bring us together. LGBT was bad enough. I'm going to say it. That was bad enough. We didn't need to do that. Let's do Sodomites, because then we know it's all of us and none of them. And they'll never take that word from us.
Well, when you say
Right? I would
sodomite, all I
totally-
think is sodomy, and I'm like, that's
I know,
not
right?
me.
No, but sodomy is not what you think. The Christian sodomy is it's literally anything but missionary position of a male or a female, man and a woman.
Oh, okay, well then I do
So
have
that
to
you
say,
have done that.
Suzanne and I have often been on the radio together, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
realized, and I don't know about you, my comedy has gotten more political to like Palin. Like Palin's the one that triggered my comedy.
It's because
broke
it was
loose
a
in my
woman,
comedy.
and she was so stupid and so not anything you wanted her to be, and you just couldn't stand it.
Do you feel like your comedy's gotten more political over the last 8 months since Trump was elected?
I'm finding that even if I try to talk about it a little bit, if they're a gay audience, forget about it. They're looking at me going, can you make this stop? Do you have
Really?
some sort of power? Do you know people?
Oh, got it.
Do you know Jodie Foster? Can you get her to stop this? And then in the straight comedy clubs, they've had it. They don't want to hear her.
So as a comedian, how do you find ways to cope with everything that's going on right now in the world?
I had to get up right after 9/11. I'll tell you what, once you've done that, everything else does
Everything's
seem a little
cake.
easier, because that was horrible.
I bet.
You couldn't say ship, you couldn't say plane, you couldn't say ocean.
It was a horrible
you couldn't
game of
say
taboo.
Building.
I need
right?
you to say the word comedy, and I can't say any
Right.
of these
But you
words.
can't-
Where are you going to be next? Where can people see you? If they're watching this and they're like, she's hilarious, where's your next show?
Actually, this weekend I'm doing the Ohio Lesbian Festival.
No, I'm glad
That's
you're
a festival
branching
of
out.
lesbians.
I'm glad you're branching
That's
out.
not 2, that's not even 12. That could be hundreds of lesbians festing.
You want to check out Suzanne
Why
Westenhoefer,
would
go to
they?
her website. It's suzannew.com. You can see her entire schedule, read more about her, where she came from, what she's done, all of that amazing stuff. Suzanne, thank you so much for coming
Thank
and
you,
playing
sweetheart.
with me. I'm Dana Goldberg, and you are watching Out in Left Field. Hey everyone, if you've been enjoying my comedy, I'm going to be performing live in Pittsburgh Thursday, September 21st at Cruz Bar. If you want to get tickets, you can go to my website. It's danagoldberg.com. And because I'm going to be on the road, we have to skip just 1 week of Out in Left Field, but we're going to be back in 2 weeks with a brand new episode, so make sure you join us then. As always, enjoy the outtakes. Did I get that? Because it sounded like, oh my God. I think we were all surprised. After Hurricane Irma. Damn, what's the joke? It's because I've been drinking. It's not Lucifer, guys. It just came as a shock to me, too. Excuse me. Speaking of sodomy, my guest this week is going to show us... No, Dana, no! No, Dana, no! It's not that kind of show. I don't know how to recover from that. Hold on. It's so hot in here.
Nazi isn't funny anymore the way it was.
Wait a minute. I don't know how to handle that.
Remember when Nazi was funny? And then Trump ruined it.
This whole interview just went to a place.
I'm supposed to ask questions and then I answer them. like Jimmy Fallon or something.
What's happening?
Try to be supportive.
You are.
Like an actor. This isn't my first rodeo, yo.
Yo, I'm gonna have another fantastic guest with us.
It's not gonna be me?
This whole thing usually goes much smoother. I'm
just
not
gonna
sure what
say,
happened
this
today.
is a little